I am Silver Shells.
I'm Cindy Jenkins.
We are
The
the
Bling
Bling Sisters, and you are tuning in tonight to see our revamped, updated studio. We have David Aguilar, we have new jewelry, we have a pop-up. So much has happened.
Since June.
Since June, it's amazing. Here we are, barely into August, and we're socially distancing the best we can. And David Aguilar is guest number 120.
120.
There you go.
120. So we've interviewed 119 people on our show. So if you'd like to see any of those, go to www.blingsisters.live and you check out our videos. There's a lot of fun. And we have our license to sell jewelry at a pop-up, so we're going to be moving around different places. We'll let you know when we're ready to
Accordion
get going.
Festival, Kitati Accordion Festival is the first one we've
That's
scheduled.
the first one.
That's coming up pretty soon, too, isn't it?
That would be September 25th and 27th.
All right.
6th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
We'll
skip a day.
a day.
You know, that's how the accordion festival is.
That's right, a little wacky.
Anyway, so we've had guests like Walter Trout, Barry Melton, of course, and David Aguilar. He's played with Barry Melton. So we are very, very excited to have him. So, David.
Yes.
David.
Here we are.
David, how are you?
Deja vu, doing all right?
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
Barry's a great guy, by the way, too, as well. Wonderful man.
We love Barry.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, so you brought us over a CD. Maybe
Right
you can
on.
see that.
That's the,
And it is the Aguilar
Aguilar Blumenfeld Project.
Aguilar Blumenfeld Project.
Yeah,
And
we put that CD out in 2016. And we actually, Roy Blumenfeld and myself put it together, and we had some great guests on there. Lester Chambers, Ruben Valtierra, Cliff Hugo.
We love Ruben.
Some great
yeah.
players, and had a really good time with doing it. And we actually went to Wales in 2016 and 2018 to kind of help promote it, and had some great times there.
To Wales, that's awesome.
Yeah, the first year was just a Wales tour, and the second time we went, actually we had Barry with us on that tour, and we had a great time with Barry.
Oh.
Yeah, he was such a nice guy to be with, and he had actually had a little calamity. He fell down the escalators in Paris, so he was kind of hurting during the tour, but he did fine. He did real well with it. Thank
He's
goodness
a trooper.
okay.
In fact, he's watching now. I see him.
All right.
Hey, Barry, how are you? Yay.
Hi, Barry.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Bonjour. Watch out for that. Oh, anyway, okay, so this is what I know about David. He was born March 24th, so he's an Aries, and you share Crowbar's birthday. You have played with Bo Diddley, David and Linda LaFlamme, Big Brother and the Holding Company. You have a story about that, huh? Bonnie Raitt, Roy Rogers, of course, Barry, Norton Buffalo, and you recently played on Lester Chambers' recording, Lester's Time Has Come.
Yeah, it's been out for a few years now, but it was a great record.
2013,
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's a great album, and Lester's just a wonderful man to play with, and we've become really good friends over these last few years and stuff. And he's just a great guy, and what a talent!
What a talent!
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to you.
Okay.
So, how old were you? Did you come from a musical family? My standard question, everyone I know, but
Actually, I think we had a piano in the house, and I think I was influenced by Elvis, I think, back in the day. I got a Sears Silvertone guitar, and I thought Elvis was pretty cool. And then, of course, the Beatles came out and just, knocked us all out of the park back in those days.
yeah, oh yeah, the Beatles knocked everybody out.
And then when I got my Sears Silvertone guitar, I actually went to take some lessons. My dad was in the service, so we traveled around in different states, a lot in the South. I was in Arkansas, Alabama, Oklahoma, and then I moved up to North Dakota, which is a whole different world in itself. But when I was in Alabama, my mother was taking my sisters to take piano lessons from this woman named Blanche Edwards, sweet woman, and we used to go sit on her porch, and she would give us lessons and stuff like that. And so when she saw my hand, she said, well, your hands are kind of small for regular guitar, so you should play slide guitar. So she taught me how to play lap steel on my little Sears Silvertone
Okay,
guitar.
so when you play a lap steel,
You actually have it on your lap.
right,
And
right.
then you have
and you
the
have a
strings.
thing on your finger.
You have like a slide like this one, but it's a
Okay.
little different shape.
Is that
And-
ceramic?
Yeah, this one particular. This is by my friend Terry Riva. These are moonshine slides. They're just wonderful slides.
If you're looking for any slides for
These are
your
the ones. I like
these are
them.
the
They're
ones.
very nice.
Okay.
And so I would use this, a different shape like this in playing. And she was very nice, a nice woman. She was, I think I was in 3rd grade at the time. And
So you were what, 8?
something in that ballpark,
Yeah,
something like that.
and you're playing slide guitar.
Well, like, down in the valley
Uh-huh.
and
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that. So it was
Down
that kind
in
of
the
thing. But it was
valley.
great. I think it helped tune my ear to playing slide in tune. And just a funny story real quick. When I moved from there, the Blanche wanted to invite me in for some cookies and milk. And my mother said, well, the teacher wants to give you some cookies and milk. I said, well, God, Mom, she's eking out a living doing these lessons. We don't really want to, put her out. And she goes, no, she really wants to do this for you. So we went out of the little porch and opened up the door out of the porch into this giant southern mansion with these huge 12-foot ceilings. And we went into her parlor and had some milk and cookies. And so it was just a moment in time that I just can't forget. It was
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
that's so funny. Kids with their ideas. No, she's poor. She's so poor. She has to give music lessons. To eke out a living.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's funny. Our perception of people. Okay, so you got into playing, and you got a Sears guitar. You said,
yeah,
was
I had
that
a
what your
Sears
first
guitar.
one?
Well, that was my first acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And then my dad got me a K guitar called a Speed Demon. I still have it today. And he got it from an airman, I think in North Dakota it was, I think. And it had a little K amp, and it was actually a really great little amp and guitar. And so I played in a couple of bands. I was really into the Ventures, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, Walk Don't Run.
Exactly,
Yeah.
all that. And
Do-do-do-do.
and I thought I was pretty good, but I really wasn't that good. And I met a friend of mine who was in college, and he showed me all these fingering and formations that made all this stuff fall into place, and I became much more fluid from his tips he showed to me and stuff. And then I moved out to the West Coast. I finished college in '74, and I stayed in Southern California until I moved up to Sonoma in 1980 or so. And during all that time, I just kept trying to play and get better and just work it out. Yeah.
Did you have bands? I know you moved around a lot, but did you have any like little garage bands or talent
Yeah.
contests that you?
Mainly, well, the first band I was in was like a drummer. He had a snare drum and a cymbal, and then another guitarist he was this really tall guy. He was a little bit of an electronics geek kind of guy, but he made these fuzz boxes because they weren't really available back then. And he had all this psychedelic stuff. We were playing some Yardbirds tunes and all that stuff. And I had my little, semi-hollow guitar, electric guitar, and so we played, again, Venture songs and all that kind of stuff. But we never played anywhere. And then when I moved, I lived in Arkansas, and I was in a band, and we used to play at roller rinks, kind of like the Buddy Holly type thing, where you'd see the band come in and play in the roller rink. And
That's funny, yeah.
we were called Old Claude and the Squires, and
Old Claude.
and so I was one of the guitarists, and I think I was about 14. And everybody else was, like 18 and 21, and so I was kind of a, real naive kind of guy. And but we played a bunch of great songs. And I remember we would rehearse at the bass player's grandmother's house out on this farm in Arkansas, out in the country. And I remember going there and I said, God, we've learned all these little parts for this song, but how is this little part going to make make a song sound full? And sure, we started playing all these parts, and it was just a really great band. We play like Talk Talk and all these kind of songs.
Talk Talk. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I moved out to Southern California, and that's when I really kind of tried to play more and more. Just develop my craft and stuff, and I'm still working on it. I remember back then I thought, well, I turned 50. I hope I'm a decent guitarist, and I had to bump that age up a few decades now.
Yeah, but you were also working full time. You weren't just pursuing being a musician. You
Mm-hmm.
were a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a special ed teacher for about 37 years or something like that. Yeah.
Then you get to practice around the kids. Did you play for the kids?
Oh yeah, the clients liked it a lot. They thought it was pretty cool. And when I worked with Norton, I was still working, and we'd rehearse. He just lived a few blocks from me, so he'd say, "Come on over." to the house and let's rehearse. And then it'd be like 1:32 in the morning, and I'd be going, I got to go to work, Norton. I got to go home. He'd go, oh yeah, no problem, Dave. Wait, I got one more song.
Just one more song.
And then since I've been in Northern California, I play in a great dance band called Tudo Bam Band. It's Portuguese, means everything's fine.
Tudo Bam. Okay, so I had that written down. I was everything's fine. Okay.
Yeah, tudo bem in Portuguese, and todos bien, tudo bene, that kind of thing. And then started working with Roy on some of these projects, and then again started working with Barry, and lately I've been working with Big Brother and the Holding Company, and nice people, really a nice group to work with.
So, Big Brother and the Holding Company approached you. Andrew?
Sam needed a guitarist on a gig, and he called me and said, "Hey, Dave, I like how you sound," or something to that effect. And he said, "Would you like to do this job?" And I said, "Sure, that'd be cool. I'd love to try it." And he says, "Well, I'll send you a bunch of CDs," because I knew like 3 or 4 of the big hits. I really didn't know their repertoire.
Right.
So he sent it to my house, and Sam was a great guy, really a nice man. So he called me up a couple of weeks before the gig and says, "Well, Dave, are you ready for this gig? Do you think you have it together?" I said, "Well, I think I do, but he says, "Well, I know another guy who'd fill in for you, but I'd really like you to try it." And I said, "Well, I'm cool with it." And I said, "Why don't you come over to the house? Let's go over what I've done, rehearse a little bit, and see if it works for you. And if it does, cool. And if it doesn't, I'm totally cool with you hiring somebody else. It's your thing." And so he came over to the house, and Sam was just really gracious. I said, "Hey, I got a couple amps here in the living room. You want to plug in?" He goes, "Oh, do we have to?" And I said, "Well, no, we don't have." So we just played guitars, and we ended up going over the material, and he felt fine about it by the time we were done. But we really got to talk a lot about his life growing up and my life growing up. They were real similar. His dad was in the service. He traveled around, and it was just really nice to get to know him. I actually recorded the whole rehearsal, so I get to listen to it now and then, and it's a sweet moment during that time.
Oh, nice. And then when Sam passed, you became a permanent?
Actually, they had a Tommy Odetto played with Big Brother as well, and he does play with Big Brother too. It depends on the scenarios.
Tommy Odetto?
Yeah, and he's a great guitarist.
Oh, I've seen him.
Nice young man who just kicks the booty big time.
Yes.
So then a couple years back, Dave asked me if I wanted to do a couple of gigs, and I said sure. So since then, I've been playing with him a lot. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good time.
A good time.
A good time for playing a video, Jesus on the Main Line.
Oh, that sounds good.
Tell us a little bit about that before we run it.
Sure. This is on KSVY, and it's a local station in Sonoma, and they were having different artists in Sonoma play, and they'd feature, I think I was one or first or second, and they've had quite a few different artists that are really good, and they sound great. And so it was really funny. My neighbor across the street, she was in her 90s, and they have this video in rotation. And so it's been played a gazillion times. And so she would tell her daughter all the time, "Oh, Dave's on TV again tonight, And she's saying, "Well, I think it's the same one, Mom." And she goes, No, I think it's a new one or something. It was really cute. So it's John Myers was the person who interviewed me that day, and it turned out really good, all in all. Yeah.
Okay, well then let's roll it.
Okay.
Here we go.
what you want. Just call him up and tell him what you want. Okay, everybody, come on now. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Just call him up and tell him what you want. Just call him up and tell him what you want. Just call him up and tell him what you want.
And we are back. For anyone that's just joining us, I'm Silver
I'm
Shells,
Cindy Jenkins.
and we are
The
the Bling
Bling
Sisters. And this is our interactive chat show. We have guest number 120, David Aguilar, tonight. And we want to say hey to some people that are watching right now.
Hey.
Uh,
Hey, Solomon Hicks. Nice to see you watching. I've been following you. You've been really doing a lot.
Crowbar, I love you, baby. Hello. Barry Melton is watching.
Terry Reed and Lisa Bolger-Midwood.
Let's see.
Miss Natalie Martell, huh? She's there.
Bobby Benoit.
Nancy.
Celia Peterson.
Celia. Yeah. And Loopy, I see you in Mexico. I see you in Xochimilco.
Linda Mariah. Okay. Min Anderson. She's saying hi to. She's saying hi, Min Anderson. Hi.
Hi to everybody.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hey, thanks for tuning in and joining us. We are back after a little hiatus. We've got some new jewelry. We've got a pop-up that we're going to
Launch
at
launch
the
it, and
Accordion
it's gonna
Festival.
pop up.
Yeah, it's gonna. We're not gonna launch it. We're gonna pop it out.
There you go.
Yes, we'll pop up our
Pop it up.
Pop it up. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so we're talking with David Aguilar. So, David, how did you keep yourself busy during this COVID lockdown experience?
Yeah, the pandemic's been pretty strange. Definitely, it was really sad to not play music for people. I didn't realize how much that affects everybody just in general. We played a couple of shows about 6 weeks ago, and it's amazing how everybody's just chomping at the bit for live music.
Oh, heck yeah.
It just felt so good, and it felt safe. We were outdoors, Now it's really strange to have to worry about safety when you perform.
Yeah.
That's something you don't. I mean, you used to worry about flying beer bottles and that kind of thing. But it's a little
Now
different.
it's people spitting on your food without a
really.
mask on. It's like,
Yeah.
get some gross.
Time to blow out the candles.
Yeah. That amazes me that people still blow out candles on cakes. It's like, lower your mask and then blow out the cake and then put your mask on and cut pieces.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre.
It is bizarre. I thought that would be long gone. Okay. So did you Zoom? Did you practice?
Actually, I did a lot of practicing. One thing I did do was I built these raised bed gardens in our front yard. We've had California native weeds for about the last 30 years in our front yard. So we built some nice raised beds. We've had all kinds of great vegetables. I should have brought you some, darn it. I forgot to do that.
Ooh, yeah, tomatoes.
So lots of tomatoes and zooks and cucumbers and that. So that was a real involved thing that's been great since we were a little reluctant to buy stuff from the store at that time.
Yeah,
And then I also built a bunch of guitars. I built about 8 or 10 guitars. I had a bunch of blanks and some ones I've made. I've been making some guitars in the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay, for your own use?
Yeah. What happens is I built a bunch. I've got a little bit of a Jones for guitars, and I have quite a collection at home. So I decided, well, instead of buying some, I'll just start building them. And then I could sell some and then maybe buy a few select here and there. But what happens is I build these things and then I just like them. They are so nice, I end up keeping them.
You don't want to let them go.
Yeah, but I've been liquidating quite a few. We had a garage sale for my mother-in-law when we were selling some of her estate items. So I stuck a bunch of guitars out and got rid of quite a few of them. So it was nice in that regard.
How many do you have now?
Well, I had 70, but I
Oh,
sold
my
about
goodness.
5 or 6. So I think I'm down
Oh,
a
my
little bit. So
five.
they're
You
going
sold
down
5.
slowly. Yeah. Well, 70 stringed instruments. There's some
Yeah,
banjos and
wow.
ukes and all that in there as well.
Yeah, I think that you won the award for the most guitars.
Well, there's other people who have it worse than me, but it's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
it's like, don't tell my wife. Every receipt is, the hardware store.
It's just searching for that tone, and you just got to keep trying those guitars out to find the tone.
It's like that perfect lipstick. That perfect shade of lipstick. You try and you have 50 really close to the same shade, but
it's not like that at all.
It is for me. Nobody wears lipstick anymore, but anyway. Okay, so David, now you did the raised beds, vegetables.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. And then now what's happening is we're starting to, book some jobs. Some band jobs are coming around. I'm playing this Saturday with the Aguilar Blumenfeld Project at the beautiful El Verano Inn in El Verano. So we're playing Saturday night there. The 20th, I'm playing at the Real and Brand with Michael Israel and Friends.
And that's in Sonoma.
In Sonoma as well. And then I'm playing my friend Peter and I, who I've known for years, Peter McCauley and Pat O'Connell. They're all members of the Tuda Bang Band, who we've known each other since our kids were little.
Tuda Bang, that's Portuguese.
Yeah, it means everything's good.
Everything's good.
Yeah, and so Peter and I are doing a little duo gig up in St. Helena at a restaurant. So that should be, I heard they have good food there, so that's what we're looking forward to with that.
Been up there, yeah. Joe and I, they have good food everywhere.
And then in September, I'm going on a little tour with Big Brother, and we're going to the East Coast. We're going to play in Pennsylvania for a couple of shows, in Chicago for a show, and then in Massachusetts for a couple of shows.
How many women are lead singers? I read there's a couple of them. There's a couple of...
Yeah, they do. They have like some different groups that work on the West Coast and some on the East Coast, some in Europe. I think they've said before they've gone through hundreds of different singers because there's just a lot of different people who are good singers. And in this group on the West Coast, we have Darby Gould singing with us lately and stuff. And she's just great. She's a sweetheart and just an unbelievable talent. And then Tom Finch is an excellent guitarist. Really, he's been with Big Brother a long time. He's just got it nailed. I always look to him for some guidance as far as, well, Tom, what do we do here and that? He's really a gracious gentleman. Then Dave Getz and Peter Albin are the original members, and just really nice people. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, my gosh.
You can find out the dates for those shows on the BBHC website.
BBHC website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have Carl Wyatt. We have to say hi to
Carl. How are you? So how do you say hi in French?
Bonjour.
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 I thought that was goodbye.
Let me ask Barry. Hold on.
Barry.
Barry will tell us.
Hey Barry, how do you
we
say
need
that?
French tutoring over here.
French tutoring.
George Cole is also in the room.
Hey George, how are you? Thanks so much for joining us, you guys. This is great. We're back. We took a little hiatus. I went to Maui.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gone for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And
how was the traveling with that, just in general? Pretty good overall?
the traveling over there was great until we were coming back at the Hawaii. It was the Maui airport. It was the worst airport experience I've had. I'm sorry to say, but they sold our seats. We got our boarding passes, walked to the gate, and they're like, oh, sorry. But anyway, so.
Oh, well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But anyway, enough about me and my gripes. But it was a beautiful trip. That was the only fly in that beautiful ointment. It was a great trip.
Nice.
Okay, so, shoot, back to you. So, are we going to do...
we can do a video now. I think this is a good time to get into the little mini documentary we have here. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about?
Sure, actually.
And Tom Sanders?
Yeah, Tom Sanders is the one who produced it. And actually, we played for his wedding with the Tuda Bang Band, I think. And I think I was playing over at Petaluma at that little club. I think you've come to it a couple times. Right down there in the little, where the turnaround is. Yeah, somewhere in that neck of the woods. Yeah, and so he was there with his child, and we were talking, and he says, oh, I'm doing all kinds of different, videos and stuff. And he said, oh, well, if you want to come do a video, I'd love to show you some of the stuff I'm doing. He said, oh, that'd be great. So he came up to my friend's house, his ranch up in the hills in Sonoma, and that's where this was filmed. And he did a really good job on it. Actually, it's kind of funny. He does a lot of baby boomers and senior living portraits and stuff. So so I'm in that baby boomers category here and stuff. So it's kind of wild.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
I had a boomer moment.
There's lots of boomers around. I don't think so.
I don't know.
You're
what's the
You might be
cutoff?
borderline boomer.
59, I think. I'm not
No,
sure.
what
it's
it
not.
is?
It's in the 60s.
60.
It's 63 or
Oh, really?
64.
For
I
a
thought.
boomer?
No.
I don't.
Anybody that knows this?
Yeah.
What is
hey.
the cutoff date for a boomer?
Yeah,
There you go.
because I'm definitely
Because
one.
I need to know. I need to know. Who
Do
I
they
am.
get some free jewelry if they correct it?
No,
correct the
nothing.
answer? Oh, okay.
No soup.
Nothing.
No soup for you.
No, okay.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and play that
Sorry.
documentary.
All right.
Now.
And we will be
Okay.
back with David
Sounds good.
Aguilar. Thanks for tuning in to the Bling Sisters Live.
Nowadays, a lot of the woods that were been used, all the time in building guitars in the past, rosewood, they're kind of precious woods now that are protected just because of their resources being depleted. So it's been great using all these materials that are all around us. You can actually build a guitar out of 2x4s, just glue them together. After I retired from teaching for about 37 years, I had needed to find something to do with my time, and I had quite a few guitars at the time, so I wanted to maintain them and learn how to do that. So through my friend Fat Dog, he kind of schooled me in that whole area of guitar maintenance, guitar building. And what I've been doing lately is building guitars out of some reclaimed wood. This is actually a piece of maple, and it was a stair step. So it was, you'd see it in your high-end homes where you have your stair step. A friend of ours gave us a whole basketball floor. And so with that, I got these pieces of basketball flooring, and it's maple. It's really a nice hardwood. It's tongue and groove, and it's got the Made in the USA thing and all that. And so I've been able to take pieces of this and I glue them all together to get a wide enough body shape. And I've actually made guitars out of them. It's just some leftover scraps that were going to be tossed or burned, and it saves the landfill and also helps save some of the protected trees and woods that are being taken care of nowadays.
Here we are.
Surprise!
And we're
Right.
back.
We're back.
We made it back. It was a grueling journey, but here we are.
It wasn't grueling. Well, I enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm glad.
Yes,
That's good.
I enjoyed the journey.
One man's gruel, another, no, never mind.
Gruel, isn't that another word for porridge?
I think
Gruel
so.
and
Yes, I
porridge.
think gruel we give to children, we give to babies.
So, do you give lessons?
Actually, I give some lessons every now and then. I didn't for a while, and then I'd get a call from a couple of people, and usually I say I'll give you like 3 or 4 lessons, because after that I've pretty much shown you everything I know and stuff, So, but you're welcome to come and do that. I don't want you to waste your money beyond that.
Right, right.
I might do called a master lesson for maybe 10 teenagers or something like that. I might show some tricks on the slide guitar because I feel kind of versed in that a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all trying to learn.
Yeah, you feel like you can talk about it with some type of.
Little authority or little knowledge base, and
That's right.
and then I know about some of the different older guitars that have a really cool sound, kind of some of those old Japanese Raitt guitars that just sound killer.
Yeah, we were talking about making them there. Your blanks, the different
Yeah.
woods have different sounds.
Yeah, maple can be kind of a hardwood. It might be a little brighter. And I made some out of some redwood. Actually, I made one for my daughter's boyfriend, and it was this fence that was made out of redwood in our house. And for years, whenever we opened the fence, you hear this, like that. And I asked my neighbor, "Do you ever hear that fence?" She goes, "Oh yeah, I hear it all the time." So I fixed it and made it so it didn't make that sound. And I took some of the leftover pieces and glued them together and made a nice little Rickenbacker type of guitar for him out of
Oh, wow.
redwood. So it was really a nice looking guitar and sounded good too.
Nice.
So, how long does it take you, say, to make the little guitar out of redwood?
It depends. You could do it in like 3 days or something, because mainly you have to cut it and then stain it and then route it and all that. But I tend to just do it bit by bit and maybe build 3 at a time. So it can take a couple of weeks just because I'm not like on the assembly line kind of a thing.
So what happens? You get your beautiful piece of maple, you've got it all sanded, whatever. For some reason, it doesn't sound good. Do you ever come across that?
I haven't really. No, not really.
Or
Usually,
they all sound good?
yeah, usually they sound pretty decent. Some will have a little bit different tone, but they usually are kind of what they are. You know, there's really nothing that's horrible. I even made a guitar out of this real compressed, kind of like particle board that you would think would be horrible sounding, and it was fine, you know, and stuff. So.
Maybe as long as the tunes, the strings are in tune.
It's the love in the hand.
And the love.
As long as it works. I mean, I've had some that didn't work, and you have to adjust and make them work right. But usually it's nice. The redwood has a really nice sound to it. It's kind of a warm sound, but not powerful, but nice. You know, so yeah.
You don't really think about that, you know.
The first guitars I made were lap steels, and they were baritone, so they were tuned way low than a regular guitar.
Okay.
And we had when we did a house add-on to our house, we got a bunch of basketball flooring from one of the high schools in the Bay Area, and so we had a ton of it, and luckily we had enough. And it's like about an inch and 3/4 thick, and it's all maple, really hard bird's eye maple.
Really?
So I'd glue a bunch of these tongue and groove pieces together, and then cut out this shape and turn that into a guitar. And I was surprised that it worked as well as it did, and they sound really, really good. There's a couple of videos on YouTube of us playing in Europe, and I'm playing one of them, and it sounds really good with the Aguilar Blumenfeld Project.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
And you know, different strings are strings, basically.
Yeah, and different fat strings will be a little lower and sounding a little bit different. And I'm actually, I took apart one of our tables we've been trying to sell for years in the backyard, and so I just took it apart, and it's made out of redwood. So I'm going to have that planed down and use that for some material, so it'll be pretty neat. Yeah.
You just...
You can never have too many guitars, is my motto.
Tell us about the guitar you brought with you.
Yes.
Oh, actually, sure. Let me grab it. I don't want to knock anything over. This is a little, this is a resonator guitar, and it's made by Dobro.
It's beautiful, and look at signs.
Yeah, I used to take these to shows, and I'd have some of my friends, Ramlin Jack and Charlie Musselwhite and
Misty.
Barry, all kinds of different folks sign it for me, and then they would say, "Well, this is for
Anthony Paul.
Yeah,
Hi,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
yeah, Audie
George
DeLone,
Cole, yeah.
all kinds of
Oh,
folks,
not George.
and Roy Rogers here." And it was really funny because they were saying, "Well, is this for a benefit or something?" I said, "Well, no, it's for me, you know." So I kept it at the house, and I've been real tickled with it. But this was made by Dobro when Mosrite owned it, so it's like a 67 or 71 or something to that effect. I don't really know. But it's got a great sound to it.
I think you should play something for us going out.
Okay.
I think we should say goodnight.
Are we ready?
And play something going out.
5 minutes, all right.
Not too loud? Do you want me to play a song here, or
So-
okay?
So everyone that's watching, I'm Silver
And
Shells,
Cindy Jenkins.
and we're the Bling Sisters.
Inc.
And you're watching us live with guest number 120, David Aguilar.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
You're
Really appreciate it very
welcome.
much.
Play your heart
Hello to
out.
everyone out there. Every morning, every evening, every day I think of you, the way you love me, oh, through and through. And in my wildest imagination, I never could imagine you loving me as much as I do you. It might be winter, it might be fall, I might have drifted nowhere at all. I'll always be there whenever you call. It might be winter, it might be fall. I might have drifted nowhere at all. I'll always be there whenever you call. And in my wildest imagination, I never could imagine you loving me as much as I do you. Loving me as much as I do you.
David.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Do you write your own music?
That's a Keb Mo song, and that one's for Wendy. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Wendy. All right, girl.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's also an artist.
Yeah, she's a great artist. Yeah, yeah.
And you
I
take,
think.
you have, yeah, and you do artwork also. You have one that was in the groove or something. It was a picture.
I can't remember. Yeah.
It was tangled chords, but it looked good.
Oh yeah, that was for my daughter's. It was a little art presentation she was doing. It was with strings and cables and stuff. Yeah. Actually, Roy played drums on that. That was a good one.
Oh, that yeah, that is a good one.
Forgot about
that.
that.
Is a nice guitar. All right.
Do you think we can pull an encore out of David?
Yeah,
let's see. Let's see. Every woman I know crazy about an automobile. Every woman I know crazy about an automobile. And here I am standing with nothing but a rubber hill. They say walking women home is a thing of the past. They want to ride around with class. Some like Cadillacs, some like Fords, some like anything as long as it rolls. Crazy about an automobile. And here I am standing with nothing but a rubber hill. And here I am standing with nothing but a rubber here. And here I am standing with nothing but a rubber hill.
Wonderful.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, David, for joining us.
I want to remind everyone, okay, we are doing live interactive chats again. So on the 12th, we have Donnie Pike from The Letterman.
That is right.
8:19, Frank Greenfield. 8:26, our Terry Haggerty's coming.
One of my favorite
And
people.
he's coming
Yay,
into the studio.
Terry. And then on 9/2, Mitch Woods.
Oh, Mitch is great.
He
Yeah.
contacted us and said he wants to be on our show.
He's so sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
Mitch is a great guy. I went and sat in with him at the Tri-Tips over there, Tips restaurant in Kenwood. And
Okay.
it was the first time I played out of the pandemic, and it was really a great night. I just sat in for half an hour with him, but we had a great time.
Nice.
Great talent.
Yeah, that's great. It's fun. So, we're just going to keep plugging away, and there's a never-ending list of people that we'd love to talk to.
That is
And
right.
thank you so much,
Well, thanks for
David,
the invite. Appreciate it
coming.
very
You
much.
are so welcome. Thank you for agreeing to come on.
No problem.
Be our
Okay.
first
Well,
real live person.
Good night, everybody.
Good
and
night.
thanks for joining us.
We'll
So
be here
long,
next
farewell.
Thursday at 6 p.m. And then David will play us out.
Yeah, play us out, David.
Bye, Bree. I love you, honey.